Every day I have something funny that happens to me. It used to be extremely humiliating and embarrassing, and now I find it's great material. That's why I speak throughout the nation and probably why I'm invited to so many places. They can't believe my stories. Here's a few of them. One time, my daughter Lydia and I were at the grocery store, and we had been dropped off there to pick up a few items. Lydia at the time was only 11. She's our fourth-born daughter. So as we were going through the store, I knew we had to hurry because someone was waiting for us in the car. So we were zipping down each aisle, and ladies, you know how it is. Aisle 3 reminds you of aisle 5, and then you zip back over to aisle 7, and before you know it, you run into someone you know, and you get a cell phone call. Well, as we were hurrying through the store, I was just piling things in the cart because I knew it was an opportunity I had, and I didn't want to miss it. Well, as we were turning around to go to the cashier, I said, "Oh no, Lydia, I forgot the paper towels." She said, "Mom, don't worry about it. Stay right there. I'll go get them." Well, as she took off 2 aisles over one way to get the paper towels, I had a great thought. I would play a trick on her. Now, a mom who can't see, you think that she's not going to move, right? But I very carefully moved 2 aisles over on the other side of the store. When she came back to the aisle where I was supposed to be, I heard an 11-year-old go, "Mom, Mom, where are you?" Well, see, one of my favorite verses is, "Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, I will repay." When she ran off, she never answered me, so I wasn't going to answer her either. So she came around to the next aisle going, "Mom, where are you? I told you to wait right there." Well, I still wasn't answering her. Finally, she got to me and she said, "Mom, I told you to wait right there. Where were you?" Nothing like being scolded by an 11-year-old. I just smiled real big, knowing I shouldn't say anything because she was pretty perturbed. The roles had changed. Well, finally, we got up to the cashier and we were putting all of our groceries on the belt. And as we were working together as a team, which you have to do when you can't see, I said, "Oh, Lydia, I think there's a discount card out in my purse out in the car. Would you go get it?" She said, "Sure, Mom, I'll be right back." Just like a beautiful ballerina, she swirled around, looked at the cashier, leaned in and said, "Excuse me, ma'am, can you watch my mom? We have a lot of problems with her and she runs off a lot." One of my most embarrassing moments was we had a group of people come over to our house for a dinner party. And after the dinner, somehow we all ended up in my office, and everyone was crowded around to look at some things on my monitor. I find that visual people are extremely high maintenance. I had to turn my monitor on for them. When you can't see, I just keep my monitor off, just keep typing away. Well, anyway, I turned on the monitor, and they were all looking, and some people were seated and others were standing. And I happened to be standing next to a tall young man next to me who was seated. So I had just reached out to put my hand on his shoulder and just pat him, just to encourage him, not knowing the tall young man had stood up. As I'm reaching for his shoulder, you guessed it, I got the wrong body part. But I never gave up because I thought, I'm going to find his shoulder. Before you know it, I had massaged this poor, horrified, tall young man all the way across his backside, looking for his shoulder. He stood in silence. He was terrified. I was mortified. If I could have found the door, I would have been out of there. I didn't know how to get out of my own house. Finally, I had to face my tallest fear. I turned to him and said, "So help me, you ever tell anyone about this?" He stood there, and believe me, he wasn't going to tell anyone. But guess what? Now he's my son-in-law. Here's the point of this terrible story. So you missed the first time when you were reaching? Keep reaching. Don't ever give up reaching. I missed the target that day, yes, indeed. But how terrible if I would never reach again. No, I continue to reach. And sometimes I get it right and sometimes I don't. But I will continue to reach for people, to encourage them, and hopefully to help them see if I can do life, you can do life, and probably do it better. Go ahead, live big, live strong.